This is your Friday Refresh brought to you by the UNA Christian Student Center. If you have a college-age student in Northwest Alabama, look up the Christian Student Center and get them connected. You will be glad you did. You can find them at facebook.com/UNACSC. Well, you know Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Of course you do. You've sung the song, you've watched the animated movie, and you've probably read the book or some variation of the story hundreds of times. You've seen the decorations in every town across the globe. But do you recall the true story that started it all? Fiction often mimics real life in strange ways, and the story behind the story certainly has some of the same elements. Robert May was a struggling Jewish writer in Chicago, Illinois in 1939. He was 34 years old and had always hoped to write novels. Instead, he was employed by a department store chain, Montgomery Ward, second only to Sears. Robert was also struggling with debt and just trying to get his small family by on what they had. He worked in the ad department, and each year they would purchase and give away free Christmas coloring books. This particular year, they had the grand idea of creating their own. The main guideline was it needed to be about an animal. They gave that task to Robert May. Robert was married, and they had a young daughter named Barbara. His daughter loved the zoo and specifically loved the deer at the zoo. So as he thought about the parameters of the story and the need for an animal to use, he thought about reindeer. He too knew Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. He also knew that heavy fogs would often blanket the windy city of Chicago and would cause questions of how could Santa even see through that fog. And so the idea was born. There would be a reindeer who had a shiny nose that would guide the sleigh through that one foggy Christmas Eve. Robert knew about being different. He was short and shy and always had felt like an underdog in many ways. No doubt that they used to laugh and call him names. And for his own personal life, there had been fogs settling over their small family. He had been in a great deal of debt for quite some time. Robert's wife had been diagnosed recently with cancer in the same year. And then before he could even finish the book, she would succumb to the disease and die. The company offered to pass the assignment off to someone else, but at this point, Robert needed it. He wanted it. And so he did as he had set out to do. He pushed through the fog of grief and single parenthood, and he finished the story. Rudolph's story has been an inspiration to billions through the years, but I couldn't help but be inspired by the story of the creator. He had encountered a great deal of difficulty in his life, from debt to grief to discouragement to disappointment. Those were just a few of the roadblocks he had suffered through, but in the end, he finished it. As I thought about this story, Rudolph's story, and many other underdog stories throughout the years, both real and fiction, I found that three things are true more often than not. Number one, blessings usually follow struggles. The testing of our faith produces endurance, and that produces a stronger you in more ways than one. Championships come when a great deal of work or strain on the body and mind have been done for months upon months. The struggles and the pain often reveal great blessings in the end. The book eventually helped Robert get out of debt, pay his daughter's education, and left her with blessings. The second thing is that purpose is found in pain. Not only are you made blessed and stronger by your struggles, you often find new purpose. Robert May might have never written a novel, but he left a lasting legacy of one of the most beloved children's Christmas stories of all time. This podcast and others that exist because Travis endured leukemia. I do counseling because my girlfriend was killed in a car accident, and I wanted to help people like I'd been helped. Only eternity knows how many people have been helped because of the pain someone else has previously endured. Lastly, don't give up because you matter. Every job is important and carries with it opportunity to make a difference. Working as an ad writer seemed completely worthless at times in his mind. What good was that doing for the world? But he was given an opportunity to write something that has brought joy to the world for over 80 years. It brought peace to his daughter in a difficult time. That would have surely been worth plenty of payback without the legacy that it brought. It was a story of an underdog, a story written through loss, a story written to cheer up a young girl who had lost her mother, a story that pulled him out of debt. So just as Rudolph endured some taunting and yet became the hero, we oftentimes will find that there are blessings that follow struggles and purpose that follows pain. So don't give up. You matter, and what you do matters, no matter what others say. And the kind of life that finds meaning and purpose even in difficult times, well, you could even say it glows like a light bulb. And that is your Friday refresh.